Tea time, $5.99. It's happening.
Yep, we are going to be continuing to drink the Iwu One Leaf as we talk about how to ask for recommendations.
Yeah. And like how to ask for guided recommendations about learning about maybe anything kind of abstract as well. Like, how do you ask an expert a good question?
Sure.
About that's going to be profitable for you and not like a huge waste of time. Not that we're complaining about questions being asked.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you can certainly, well, hopefully, if we do a good job of it, extrapolate some of the concepts of this episode towards other things.
Right.
And so I guess this is in response to seeing just a lot of like, hey, tell me what a good, recommend me a tea or something like that.
Right.
And it's just like, well, in answer to that question, you'd have to ask many more questions for it. It's just, in general, it's not one that you're able to get super specific with. And I think a lot of the key to that is just kind of on being very specific. I think you can, if you ask something a lot more specific, like, hey, I'm looking for specifically this tea, and these are what I like, then you can get a lot more into the kind of the meat and the juiciness of the question more quickly.
Yeah, and plugging the app. If you send someone's you send your drinking history over to somebody or
That's
your
true.
stash.
That's true. Yeah.
You say, "Here's what I have. I'm trying to fill in this hole." So I think the kind of the first question I would have is someone who's just getting into tea is like, "Oh, I'm really excited. This is fun. This is cool. This is this new thing. Where do I start?" And then you got to recognize, okay, you shouldn't be asking someone like James about tea yet. James is going to give you a higher level of response than go buy a bunch of quarter cakes and start drinking a bunch of tea, which is what you should do, right? So finding out where you are on your own personal journey. Are you at the beginning? Are you learning a bit more? Are some of the concepts that James is talking about in his in-between zones, you're like, oh, wow, I didn't use those words, but I have that idea in my head already. Great. Now maybe, not to gatekeep you or any expert at all, but now is when asking an expert a higher level question will be profitable for you and interesting for the person answering it as well. It's fun to talk with people who are competent and into it. You can tell that they're like studying and they know about tea, as opposed to just like, what tea should I get? It's like hard to answer that question.
Yeah. And in general, it's like probably a mix of like telling the person what you are after, as well as what your past experiences have been. And so if you can sum those two things up pretty well, and my TDB is actually, that's a good example. I didn't think of that. But I have had, I've had tea with a number of people, especially in the last year or two. And a couple of people have been like, hey, here's what I have, and here's what I drink, because this is my TDB, so I can see your stash, and I can see what you drink. It's like, you know what? I see what you rate the tea too. So I have a great idea from that of just what you think about different teas and different directions to go.
Yeah, totally. And it's not that you shouldn't be asking for beginner advice from experts, just to be clear, but you just got to understand that you're going to be getting advice that pretty much anyone who's just getting, who could give you with like a little bit of Googling, basically.
Sure.
So please ask questions, of course, but also understand that like you're going to get a better, you're going to get a more accurate answer and a more useful answer if you ask a bit more, give a bit more context, ask a more studied question that is specific maybe even to that person.
And no one wants to go back and forth 10 different times just to get to a question you could have asked in the first place. So, don't be lazy about it.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, ultimately. But again, at the same time, when you, let's answer this question now. How would you find out, how would you know about yourself? I'm at the point where, this is a worthwhile question to ask someone who's an expert like James, someone like whatever, Max at Teas We Like. Asking a question is going to end up being profitable, and I know that because I'm at this phase. How would one know that they're ready to be asking more advanced questions potentially?
I don't know. It's a little hard to say based off of kind of to answer in a more general way. I think it's a little challenging to know because it kind of depends on what you've had, what you are asking specifically. If you're asking something about tea processing or whatever, then someone like me is probably not quite as well equipped to answer as some other people in the tea world.
Right.
But if you're asking me, it's like we have tried a lot of, Mung-Hai Tea Factory stuff from the mid-2000s. If you're asking for a specific recommendation that's available now, I think we're probably pretty good people to ask.
Totally, yeah. I mean, I think just kind of reflecting back on how would you know about a new pursuit when to ask a specific nuanced question to someone. Let's say you're writing a novel and you want to ask your favorite author, beginning advice or whatever. I mean, it might make sense to like have finished the novel first before you start asking for writing advice. So I think the overall advice I would say is prove to yourself and earn the wisdom that you develop from paying your tuition and doing a bunch of tea to then, okay, I'm now at, my 300 level classes and James is teaching the course and I get to ask him a bunch of questions. But you're not going to be able to ask interesting questions or make any damn sense unless you've taken the other classes first.
Sure. But even if you are new, it's like if you wanted to ask a question, then, I mean, it helps to be very specific about it. It's like, I'm going to Taiwan. Don't just ask, like, give me recommendations. Like, give me some idea of what you actually want to buy or what you drink.
Right.
And then I can, hopefully provide a little bit more.
Totally.
A much better answer.
Or even, I'm going to Taiwan. I don't know what to even look for. What are what are some specific teas to Taiwan that I should make sure to buy on this trip?
Sure, that are not available elsewhere.
Yeah, make sure to get yourself some Oriental BB while you're out there or something like that.
Sure.
So things like that. Cool. Yeah. Well, I don't want to leave people with like a sense of like, oh, this is a negative thing, but I think part of the excitement of learning something is learning more and more about it so that you eventually can have a level of expertise where, you can kind of sit down and do like office hours with your professor about whatever it is and have more of a back and forth chat as opposed to like, could you just like teach me the thing now in person? So if you do your homework and show up, you're going to have a much more exciting and fun engagement with someone asking questions who are still as an expert.
Right. If you do like the 10 minutes of research or something, then you can reduce like an hour of everyone's time.
Yeah. And it's not, I don't want to be clear, I do 10 minutes of research before I start a TDV episode about a new tea I don't know enough about. Because, I need to know it too. So it's not, there's no gatekeeping on learning. You definitely want to be having fun and doing all the learning, asking all the questions. Submit your questions below. What questions do you have for us? What topics should we be covering that are like tea related but not us just drinking and evaluating the tea? Let us know in the comments below.
Yep.
Subscribe, click all the buttons.
And we'll see you next week for 600.
600.